clinical trial on music therapy for ICU patients with AIG hospitals. He has been doing research on music therapy with prominent classical musicians of India. And he's been working with people who are coming up with integrated research university at University of Texas, Dallas. He's working with Mr. Sharad Marathi, chairman of Ayush Task Force, New Delhi, and he's conducting clinical trials to scientifically validate homeopathy. So please join me in giving a warm welcome to Dr. Manoj. And before we get started, I would like to inform the audience that our speaker will be taking the questions from you after the main talk. So please leave your questions in the chat box or use raise hand tool after the main talk. We will allow you to ask your question in person, and I request everyone to turn on your webcam for interactive session. So without further ado, let us welcome our speaker, Mr. Dr. Manoj. Over to you, sir. You are on mute.
Namaskaram, everybody. Grateful to Vishwa for giving me this opportunity to talk. I'm grateful to each one of you for investing this time to hear my perspective. Thank you all for joining. So I wanted this talk to be a little different. I didn't want to come and talk to you about what is available on Google, what all informations are available. So I'm trying to restrict myself to information that is not available on Google. I will start this journey by giving you a small incident that happened in my life, which kind of made me to do some research about obesity. Now, in one of my visits, this was quite a few years back, I went to see a patient, and so when I reached, and a watchman who opened the gates for my car, my attention went into him. This guy was a very old man. He was about 84 years old. He was very lean. He had those long hair, like one of those yogis. He had one white thing put on his forehead. But what made me notice him was his energy levels. So I noticed him, and then I went inside, finished my job, and then I said, I want to talk to this guy. I told the owner, and when I interviewed him, and later I sent my team also to interview him, I realized he's 84 years old. He has been working with this gentleman as a watchman for many number of years, and he's not had a single health issue for a good 10 years. He's never taken an off. He goes for a walk about 2 to 4 kilometers with the dogs, and he does a 12-hour journey, 12-hour duty as a watchman. So I started to, ask him what are his lifestyle and all that. I was very shocked to listen that in the past 8 to 10 years, all he eats and drinks is chai and buttermilk. He does not eat any kind of solid food. I was quite taken aback that how can somebody survive just with chai and buttermilk 8 to 10 years and have so much of energy at the age of 84. So that set me to my research on finding out the connection between the physical body, the energy, and the food. Now, in my practice, I've been practicing for 35 long years, and I've had many people who come to me for obesity. Many in their 60s also come to me. So I asked them, you're 60 years old. How long have you been fighting this obesity? They said, Doc, all my life I've been obese and I've been fighting this all my life. I said, okay. So for at least 30 years, you've been fighting this. How successful were you in this fight? Well, you see, when I do a diet, or when I go on an exercise regime, or I go on an intermittent fasting, or I go on an Atkins diet, or I go on whatever, I do lose weight. But I'm back to what I am in a little while. I said, okay, but you're still fighting. How long will you continue this fight? All my life, doc, I'll fight this all my life. Now, my question is, you've been fighting this battle for 30 long years, and isn't it time that you realize that you're fighting a battle that you cannot win? Or at least you're not fighting it the right way. There's something that you're not doing right. Otherwise, this fight is going on. You would have won the battle by now. So let's try and explore how are you fighting this battle wrong. Now, you see, everything in life has got a cause and effect. Obesity that you see in yourself is the effect. The bulge that comes on the body, the fat that you put on is an effect. So you are only trying to fight the effect of obesity. So you do liposuction, you do diet, you do exercise, everything is aimed at fighting the effect, but you are not doing anything to fight the cause. And you cannot win a battle unless you fight both the cause and the effect. Effect, you know well, you've been fighting it, so we will not discuss the effect. Let's discuss the causes, try to become aware of what are the causes and see what we can do to fight the cause or include the cause in our battle against the obesity. The causes mainly, let's look at a few of them. One of them is the medical cause. Now, in the medical cause, the topmost one is the thyroid. Now, medical textbooks do say that when you have thyroid, you put on weight, you have other issues like periods issues, hair fall issues, skin issue, constipation, and all that kind of a thing. But no, you're putting on weight. You don't want to accept the fact that I am putting on weight because of what I'm doing or what I'm not doing. I'm not eating well. I'm eating all wrong kind of things. I'm eating all fatty foods. I'm not exercising. But it's human nature that I want to find something or somebody to blame for my condition. Let's blame the thyroid. So all of us go and get a thyroid profile test done, and a lot of you will come with a finding. Now, those of you whose levels are very high, let's say TSH is 30, 40, 50, 200, 300, they can start on allopathic medications or supplements and their weight will definitely come down. Now, this is less than 10% of the people who are obese. The 90% of them, the thyroid may or may not be there. In those which are there, it is marginally raised. From 5, it goes up to 6 to 8 to 10 to 12 to 15. You're very happy. Okay, I found a cause for my obesity. I have something to blame in life. So you start on medication for obesity or thyroid. 3 months, 6 months, you don't lose a single gram or a kilo. You continue to be what you are. You are stuck not only with your weight now, but you're also stuck with a medicine that you will have to take all your life. We still don't realize. So most of the people end up with thyroid medication and also continue to be having a obesity problem. Now, the second issue, the second reason is genetic. It's a well-known fact that, okay, obesity runs in my family. My father is obese, my mother is obese, my uncles are obese. Yes, genetics do pass on from generation to generation, but not necessarily every child in the family is not obese. No, you cannot help genetically transferred obesity. You'll find exactly where your parents have got weight. It could be the upper arms, it could be the lower part of the body, the backside, the belly. After a particular age, you will catch up. But one of the main reasons why you catch up is because of the fear of inheriting what my parents have got. So let me give you an example. I had a family of 4 who used to come to me. The father was the only one who was not taking medicine. The rest 3 of them were taking medicine. The father, every time, those days I used to see once in 2 weeks. Every time he would come, he would say, "Doctor, just check my BP." So I would check his BP and I would say it's normal. Next time again, "Doctor, please check." So after some time, why are you checking it? No, just check it. You know. So finally, at the end of a few months, I told him, "Congratulations, you got blood pressure." Now, what happened here? There are many people like this who are scared of cancer and they end up in cancer. They're scared of psoriasis. They're scared of vitiligo. They're scared of, but eventually they end up having that problem. Now, why do they end up having this problem? You see, you need to realize that there are trillions of cells in our body. Each of the cell has an intelligence within that. The body is the slave of the mind. Whatever you tell your body to do, it will do. Jump, hit, run, get up, everything it will do. It will not question. It has the intelligence to take a command, but it does not have the intelligence to think. Has it ever happened that you told your body to jump and the body stopped? Should I not? No. The body doesn't. The cells in the body has the intelligence only to obey an order. So when you constantly dwell on something, my father is obese, I will also be obese. The cells in the body does not know that it is your anxiety and fear that you're talking like this. It thinks that it is a command for it. So it will slowly start to manifest itself like that. It will start to become obese because you're constantly dwelling on it. Anything that you constantly dwell on will manifest. So this thinking plus our watchman and all that start made me to research further, and I've come across something called a GNM, that is German New Medicine, which causes about an emotional cause behind every disease, every chronic disease. They say there is an emotional cause which is there. So I started to explore. So GNM says that the cause of obesity is basically abandonment, a lack of self-worth, which causes that. Let me explain that to you. When I was about 5 or 6 years old, we have four children. My parents left me with my grandmother and they went somewhere else to work. But in my mind, I somehow thought that they had abandoned me. So I was told that I used to sit on the veranda every night and wait for my parents to come back every night as a 6 year old. None of my other siblings had this problem, but I grew up with a sense of abandonment. It was in my mind. It was not that my parents abandoned me. But then I grew up with that. I also didn't realize it till I was 50 years old. Now, subsequently, this abandonment feeling in me brought about a sense of hatred towards my father. I started to hate him. I didn't have a good relationship with him. None of my other siblings who were also left with me had any issues. I was the only one who had issues because in my mind, abandonment, it led to anger. It led to hatred. Now, I grew up with that till I realized it at the age of my 50 in one of my meditation that I realized. Now, what it did to me, abandonment got in a lot of stomach issues in me. I started having irritable bowel syndrome. And my hatred towards my father was so much that I wanted to separate from him. And the day after I got married, I separated. I went off to another house. So GNM says that separation, conflict, wanting to separate causes skin issues. So I ended up in psoriasis. So what I'm trying to tell you is all of us have these kind of conflicts within our mind from childhood, which we develop. It could be conscious, it could be not conscious. You may know about it, you may not know about it, but it's important to keep in mind that it is very important. Every chronic disease, see, 80% of the diseases are chronic. The modern science says there is no cure for it because they don't know the cause of it. They can only fix the effect, they cannot fix the cause. Let's take, for instance, autoimmune disorder. They say that autoimmune disorders happen because of our own cells fighting against us. But they do not know why our own cells fight against us. So we need to explore where this is all coming from. Now, let me go a little deeper into this because it's important for you to realize what is the cause of your obesity. Why is it that you have a desire to eat, a particular thing? There is no inclination to work. There must be some reason behind all this. Now we undergo pleasant and unpleasant events throughout our life from womb to tomb. It has been scientifically proven that in the womb, also the child experiences a lot of emotions. So there are many unpleasant events that happen within our life from childhood till now. Some of them you're consciously aware, some of them you're not aware. But let us say you try to recollect an unpleasant event that happened about 10 years back. Recollecting the event is okay. That's the memory. That is the function of the brain and our memory. You can recollect it. But when you recollect it, you also feel the emotion that happened at that point of time. Doesn't it mean that your emotion has got trapped at that point of time? See, today when you look at it, it may be a very silly incident. But at that point of time, it was something huge. And today when you recollect it, the emotion you feel is what you felt then. That means your emotion is trapped at that level and at the level of your understanding. Now, let me tell you this. In my research, I have understood that the medical science may not know why our own cells are fighting against ourselves. But for sure, I know that these trapped elements, these trapped emotions are what are working against us. Now, people call this as an emotional baggage which we carry, or some people call it as karma. So whatever it is important that we release this baggage for us to have a fruitful life, for us to see that none of these emotions work against us. So I've made one 1 hour guided meditation audio, which I'm more than happy to share it with all of you free of cost. If you reach out to me on drmanoj.com, all in small letters, and my number, it will be given in the chat box. I'll share that with you. It's a 1 hour audio. It's an intense audio. You can go through it and you can explore your trapped emotions. It is important. Now, let me ask you this question. Does everyone who eats like you, does everyone, I'm assuming that, most of you who have attended are attending to know more about obesity. So I'd like to address you as people, okay, with obesity. For you or it's for somebody else. But does everyone who eat like you and who doesn't exercise like you, are they all as obese as you are? They're not. There are many people who eat much more than you, but they don't put on weight. There are many people who just don't exercise. They don't become obese. Now, this made me to further do my research and find out why is it that some people are putting on weight, some people don't. The only reason medical science says you need genetic. You are genetically cursed. That's why you are. No, I don't believe in that. So I started exploring within homeopathy as to what are the reasons that are given. So I was very fascinated when I studied obesity and the causes which are given under homeopathy. There are many causes that are given under homeopathy for the cause, the reason. Now, one of the main thing is cravings and desires. See, it's normal for all of us to have cravings and desires, but intense craving and intense desire is the problem. So the people who are obese, when they try to lose weight, the first thing that comes in this thing is their intense craving. So in homeopathy, I started to explore what are there. So I found so many desires for fried food, desire for chocolates, sweets, meat, alcohol, fatty food, pastry, cheese. These are all the cravings that people have. And homeopathy can remove this excess craving, intense craving, not the craving, the intense craving. It can be removed with homeopathic medications. Now, homeopathy also explores hormonal imbalances, the thyroid, menopause, uterus, ovaries. These things can also cause obesity, and homeopathy has got some good medicines to treat this cause of obesity. Then homeopathy also has medicines for mental aversion for physical work. It doesn't mean that it will give you a jump start and all that. But that extreme laziness, extreme lethargy, these things can be corrected with homeopathic medications. And also we call what we call as a tendency to put on. The genetic tendency to put on weight can also be to some extent altered if we follow the homeopathic principles. Now, all of you are on some kind of a battle. Go ahead. Whatever you are doing, continue to do it. But add homeopathy in your battle so that we can fight the cause, not just the effect of it. Now, what we are is the food that we ate, right? From a small child to a big human being, what we have become is because of all the food that we have eaten. So my research also got me to a point that food is required for the body as long as you grow vertically. Let's say till the age of 18, 20. Once you stop growing vertically, the amount of food that you eat will only put on horizontally. Yes, simple logic. So technically speaking, once you stop growing vertically, you need to cut down your amount of food because your body is during the growth period, you need food because you have to form the mass and everything else in the body. But after you stop growing, if you continue to eat the same amount of food, it will only put on horizontally. Now you'll ask me, doc, but if you don't eat, what about our energy levels? Now, look at that watchman whom I met. Look at the many yogis, those who don't eat food or they strive on a one meal a day. See the older people in your homes. They naturally reduce their intake of food as they grow older. That's a way of life. So you don't need so much of food. 50% of the world population is malnourished, but they work. The people who work for us, the maid servant, the watchman, the driver, they don't eat as much as you and me. They don't eat that kind of nutritious food that you and me eat, but they work way, way more than you and me. They have a lot more energy than you and me. So there's no logic. But I must tell you, though you do not need 50% of your food after you grow vertically, you need to generate energy in another way. What is the other way? It is a common sense that anything that goes on moving will produce an energy. Let it be a motor, let it be a fan, whatever it is, it produces energy. So two things that keep moving in our body are our breath and our heart. They're constantly in motion. When it is constantly in motion, it will definitely produce some kind of an energy. It is the breath that controls the heart. So if you're able to correct your breathing through pranayama, doing pranayama takes you doing some kind of chanting, doing yoga, that gives you the energy that is required for the body to run, not just the food. So you can live on the energy coming from the food and the energy that you're able to raise because of the pranayama and the yoga. So if you're able to breathe the right way by doing pranayama and generate energy, you can cut down on food to a large extent. Now, a lot of people will say, Doc, yeah, I'm about 25, 30. This is the best period in my life. I'm 30. This is the time for me to go out, eat, drink, have fun, make merry. You're telling me to cut down my food by 50%. How is that even possible? Let's look for a logical solution to this. And before that, let's look at one part of it. You have no motivation to do physical exercise. You have no motivation to do any kind of a workout. Why is it that you're not having any motivation to do? Try and go back and see. Does this mean that you've given up? You've tried to lose weight, but you've not lost weight, so you've given up. So you have no motivation to do it. So this given up is a change that you made in your brain. Once you make up a change in your software that I have given up, it is very difficult to change it until you change your software. So there is a need for you to go back and undo what you have done. I am not giving up. I will do something about it. It's important. Now, let's look at What can be done for you to keep away from that kind of a food? You're 30, you don't want to compromise. Let's look at it logically. Who has told you how much of food you should be eating when you were a child? Beta, you must eat this much of food, this much of breakfast, this much of lunch, this much of dinner. The quantity was told to you by your mother. Who told your mother how much to eat? Her mother. And her mother would have heard it from her mother. So let us go back 3 generations. We are blindly eating as much as our great grandparents used to eat because we've been told that you must eat so much. Our great grandparents used to be 80% more active than you and me. They used to walk, they used to be in the field, they used to cycle. They never had the kind of comfort and convenience that you and I have. So they used to eat so much. Does it anywhere make sense to you to eat as much as your grandparents are eating? And we overeating? Let's look at the simple fact. After you eat, food is essentially for energy. After you have a meal, do you feel energetic and bubbly, or do you feel dull, sluggish, and you want to lie down? Most of us, after a good meal, want to lie down. That means obviously you're overeating. Obviously, it is making your system sluggish. But we are not thinking because we are conditioned to eat so much. So we continue to eat so much. Now, let me give you a few facts. Our stomach, the size of the stomach is the size of a fist. This is how much big the stomach is. Nature has given this size to the stomach because this is how much you're supposed to eat. This is how much is needed for you. This is how much can be digested easily. Now, the stomach unfortunately has a ability to expand to 6 times its size. So the more you eat, it expands like a balloon. It keeps on expanding and you go on eating. Now, where it can digest so much food, you're giving so much food to digest. So what happens? It gets partially digested. And this partially digested food is what causes all your problems. So let us try and see or give the body what it wants. You must eat this much every 4 hours. Now, 4 hours is the time that it takes to digest whatever is there, but this much, not this much. 4 hours. So if you can take a bowl which fits into your hand and eat that much of food, whatever you want, you put in it. Whatever you want, no restrictions. Rice, dal, chicken, fish, vegetables, but only so much. Don't pile it up, but this much. Have it every 4 hourly. I'm not asking you to restrict any food. It is human tendency. The moment you say don't eat this, you feel like eating it. So I'm not saying you stop anything. You eat what you want, including sweets, but have only so much. Now, let me tell you what we normally do. Suppose you go to a wedding and you pick up a plate of biryani and you start to eat it. The first bite, beautiful. I wonder who made this, who is the cookies. You ask around. Second bite, lovely biryani. Third bite, lovely biryani. Fourth bite, very nice. After that, you start talking to your friends and you only realize that the food is over. You do not enjoy the food. Or you take a bowl of ice cream. The first bite is very tasty. Second bite, third bite. Then you finally realize when it is just about getting over. This is called as unconscious eating. We are sitting in front of the TV and eating. We are talking to somebody and eating. We are not enjoying the food that we are eating. We are just eating till we get full and one sound comes from inside. Enough, I can't take anymore. That's when you keep the plate down. And you're not enjoying anything of it. So unconscious eating is one of the biggest problem that we are having. And that is where we are all messed up. So if you're able to take your meal in this, put it on the plate, separate it, take smaller bites, break it into pieces, take each bite, enjoy the juice that is coming out of it, the taste that you're able to experience from that every bite. Trust me, you will be very, very satisfied mentally, in taste, in everything, except your stomach will complain, I'm not full yet, I need more, but that will take a few days. The stomach, as much as it is capable of expanding, it is also capable of contracting. So, over a period of time, when you give it less and less and less, you slowly bring it to the level of the required rate. Now, start having the meal every 4 hourly. Slowly extend it to 5 hours, 6 hours, 7 hours, 8 hours, 12 hours, 16 hours. Now, 16 hours fasting, intermittent fasting has got a Nobel Prize. Science used to say before you have to eat every 4 hours, otherwise you'll develop acidity. Now they are saying you eat once in 16 hours, that is the best for you. So expand, listen to your stomach. It's very important to listen to your stomach. You see, a lot of you will ask you, Doc Sab, how can I eat so much? I'm used to eating so much. What will happen to my energy levels? Let me give you a logic. The stomach is capable of digesting so much with its energies. You give it so much. So all the energy that is made in your body goes towards your digestion. The rest of the body is depleted of energy. That is the reason you feel like sleeping, lying down, you feel like you're yawning and all that. The moment you redirect these energies, make it smaller, smaller, the stomach will need very little energy to digest the food. The rest of it will go to your rest of the body, and you will feel more energetic than you were. You will feel less sleepy than you were. You will feel more agile. You will mentally feel very, very good. Emotionally, you will feel very good. So get onto this diet, and you see what magic it can do for you. Now, one of the foremost questions that you are going to ask me is, Doctor, what is the diet that we should follow? Let me ask you this question. If five of us sit down here and we eat non-vegetarian or we eat milk, all of us drink the same non-vegetarian, same milk, do we all react the same way? We don't. We all react differently. We all react differently to every food that is available. Now, how can there be a common diet for all of you? Is it even possible? But we go behind diets that are, all over the internet and all that. Let me follow this diet. Let me follow this diet. You're not even bothered to find out if that diet will suit you or no. You just blindly do everything that comes your way. How can there be a common diet? When your body is individual, you react differently to a simple thing like milk or non-vegetarian. How can there be a common diet? So, the only diet that has been traditionally followed for thousands of years is the Ayurvedic diet. Now, what is an Ayurvedic diet? You go on to Google and type dosha quiz. It's called as a dosha. DOSHA quiz. Now, dosha quiz, once it'll ask you a lot of questions. It'll ask you about your physical, mental, everything. And once you're able to fill in the form, it'll give you what is your dosha, your vata, pitta, or kapha is high. Explore further on Google itself and my vata is high. What are the foods I can eat? What are the foods I cannot eat? Now, this is individual diet. This is what you must follow, and there is no other way. At least be aware of what is good for your body, what is not good for your body. It's as simple as that. So, as far as diet is concerned, my suggestion is go for the Ayurvedic dosha quiz. You find out which is high and then do the diet. The next most important thing that I would say when you're having obesity is balancing the five elements. This is very important. It's called as Panchabhutalu or five elements. There is earth, the water, the fire, air, and space. All of us are used to being, particularly people who are of my age, at least, they've been used to running with bare feet on the ground, working on the ground, in the water, in the river. These are our source of creation. We are made of the five elements. Every calcium, magnesium, zinc that is there in the earth is there in our body also. So we need to connect with our source of creation. It's very important. One of the ways is the earth. How do you connect with the earth? You start walking barefoot on the grass or the ground, or stand on the grass barefoot. Stop working on the mud. Start planting trees. It's very important to have that connect with the ground. We have missed it in search of comfort and conveniences. We have gone away from the ground, from the light. We have gone into luxurious 40th floor, 50th floor where there's no connect. Number two is water. Do you know that 70% of your body is made of water? So we need to connect with the water element, and that is done by taking a long shower. Have you ever noticed you come back home very tired physically, emotionally, but you have a shower and suddenly you're fresh? How is it that you're fresh? It is not the temperature that is giving you that. The water which is falling on you has a lot of vibration and memory. Those vibrations, they increase the vibrations within your body and you start to feel energetic, rejuvenated. So have long showers. Spend a lot of time in the pool, water. The fire or the sun, stand in sunlight every day, sunrise, sunset, spend about 15 minutes looking at the sunset and sunrise. If not anything, at least enjoy the sunset and sunrise and let those rays fall on you. Apart from vitamin D, there are many things we do not know that the sun can give us. Air and space is very important part of our psychological growth. So it is very important to do yoga and pranayama. All these things are available on the website. I've given a multiple videos which explains how to balance your 5 elements. You can always go on to drmanoj.com, or the phone numbers will be given in the chat box, and you can do that. Now, I then started to research how obesity affects a person emotionally. Once you become obese, you withdraw socially. You don't want to be seen in public. You don't want to go people. You're okay in the initial stage. You are the butt of their joke. They call you names and all that. But over a period of time, it starts affecting you. And you say, nee, I'm not coming. So slowly you withdraw. You come inside, You stay on your own. You're comfortable being on your own. You don't want to expose yourself. I wonder why a lot of people don't go to the gyms. How the hell can you enjoy in a gym when you are at base and you're going to a gym and you're seeing such chiseled bodies in the gym? I mean, a mere sight of them itself will make you the complex. Damn, everybody will be looking at my tummy. Everybody will be looking at me. This is not the place for me. And you don't go to the gym because they come to make up their muscles and all that. I wish there was a gym only for obese people. And actually, we're working on it. So that at least emotionally you don't suffer. What I want to ask you is, do you think that people love you because of your looks? Looks can always get you that initial attention. After that, it cannot sustain. They love you because you're a wonderful person. They love you because you're an intelligent person. You're a compassionate person. You're a funny person. There is something about you which is beautiful. It is not your looks. Your looks only get you initial attention. You're a very good looker and you're an idiot. Nobody will be there for you. But people love you for what you are as a person. And trust me, I spent most of my life with people who are obese, and I find that they are the best of the people. They are the most humorous, they are the most funny. And as a doctor, let me tell you, they seem to be most healthy too. It is just that there is a fear in them, which has been conditioned in them. You are fat, you will get heart attack. You are fat, you will get a stroke. You are fat, your kidneys will fail. You mean people who are lean, they don't die, they don't suffer, their kidneys don't fail, they don't get stroke? Look around you. Most people who are obese are way, way healthier than the people who are not. There is no logic to this fear. But you've been conditioned with this fear that you're all the time thinking about it. Okay, tomorrow, like this, I'll get BP, I'll get a stroke, I'll get that, I'll get this. You're all the time thinking about it. No, the thinking is what gets you into trouble. It is not true. Look at so many obese people who are dance choreographers, who are doing adventure sports, and the kind of energy they have. So do not get bogged down with the weight aspect of it. Nobody is judging you. People like you because of what you are. Now, I must also touch here, we do have a little time, about the ladies who are getting into obesity during their menopausal time. There are two, three reasons why they get into obesity. Number one is the hormones that changes, it reduces their metabolism. So they tend to pile on weight. But menopause is the time When they have a whole lot of issues. They have issues with their children, teenage children, children getting married, daughter-in-laws into the house, whole lot of issues. So they are emotionally deprived. When you're emotionally troubled, what do? You go to food as comfort. Your metabolism is dropping. You're supposed to reduce your food by half, but instead what you're doing, you're increasing it by half. So you tend to put on weight. I must tell you, these ladies, they're very kind. They're kind to everybody in this world, but they're most unkind to themselves. Right from childhood, they take care of the family, then they start get married, they take care of the husband's family, the in-laws, the daughter-in-laws, everything. When they reach menopause, they suddenly say, what the hell did I do for myself? I am also asking you, what the hell did you do for yourself? Have you been kind to yourself? Can you spare half an hour to 1 hour in 24 hours for yourself to do simple things, balancing the five elements of nature, doing a yoga, doing a pranayama, trying to make yourself comfortable in a balanced way? You have to realize only if you are comfortable can you make others around you comfortable. Only if you are happy, you can make others happy. Otherwise, you think you're doing it, but you're not doing it. So it's time to start spending some time on yourself. And all those people out there who are suffering obesity, these are four things that I want you to do. One is the ball diet. One is balancing the five elements. One is doing the exercise. One is untrapping your emotions which are trapped. If you're able to do this for spend time for yourself, you'll definitely lose weight. There is no way that you will not lose weight. You need to realize that nobody wants to be obese. But culturally, we have this habit of blaming ourselves. I am obese because I ate so much. I am obese because I didn't do exercise. I am obese because of this, that. Stop blaming yourself. You're not obese because of you. You never wanted to be obese. You just happen to be obese. It's all right. It's the nature's way. You can't do anything about it. So taking away this blame, stop blaming yourself, because this blame itself is what causes a lot of emotional issues within you. So I will end my talk here, but all I want to say is do whatever you're doing, but fight the cause and the effect of obesity. Whatever you do from today, stop suffering mentally. At least be joyful, be the person you are. It's time to let go and go out into the world as yourself. It doesn't matter. Nobody is judging you. It is in your mind that you think everybody is judging you. Stop doing that. Be free. Set yourself free and be joyful. Thank you so much. And I shall now take questions.
Thank you, sir, for the summary.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, Miss Nina Kurkil is asking, what about Parkinson's? Due to this, a person either loses weight or gain. How can such a problem be solved? Is homeopathy effective to increase dopamine and have any knowledge of MSA Parkinson's? Because someone advised us that homeopathy is the best.
You see, first of all, Parkinson's, there is no treatment available for Parkinson's in the medical science. They give you a whole lot of medications which reduces the tremblings of the body and symptomatically. But these medicines do have a lot of side effects also. Now, losing weight in Parkinson's is okay. Why do you want to put on weight in Parkinson's? It's all right. As it is, you're suffering. The less weight you carry, the better for you. So I don't think you should look at increasing the weight of a person. That's not the important thing. But what is important in Parkinson's is balancing the five elements of nature. Now, if you are able to continue with whatever medicines you are giving the patient, but along with that, balance the five elements of nature, trust me, that will bring in a whole lot of change in the patient. Introducing homeopathy. Yes, homeopathy does have treatment, no cure. We've been able to help a lot of patients with Parkinson's to stop progress of the disease, to some extent reduce it, but not cure. But at least we can stop it and there's zero side effects. Hope it helps.
Okay. So we have Sneha asking, please tell how to control craving and eating whenever eating. Whenever I feel bored, stressed, I need something to eat. Also, I feel weak when I eat less.
You see, the craving or the desire, where is it coming from? Let us try to explore where it is coming. And it is coming from your mind. There's something that tells you eat. There's something that tells you that you into. Or, never in the history of human existence has food been available so much around us. Food was never available like this visually, or even if you can pay for it now. Everywhere there is food and there is toilet. That was never the case. So there is always a desire. You see it, you desire it. So this desire comes from the mind. Now you have to reach your mind and ask, why am I desiring so much? There is something that is making you desire, which is not the right thing. And that has to be a conflict that happened in your mind. Now, there are many cases where, as a child, they were they didn't have enough to eat in the house. So they went through an extreme emotion of poverty where they didn't have what they want to eat, or they couldn't eat sweet, they couldn't eat non-vegetarian. Now that gets stuck in the mind emotionally, subconsciously. You see, my thing of abandonment, I never knew till I was 50. So it is possible that you are carrying an emotion within you where you never got anything to eat as a child. So now you feel like eating because it is available abundantly. So you have to visit the conflict that is causing your desire. Nothing happens without a memory. It always works in the mind. So go back, do some meditation, try and see why are you craving so much. There will definitely be a reason in your emotions that you can come. Once you become aware of the reason, it resolves on its own. That is human nature. Once we know why what something is happening, it will resolve on its own. Yeah.
Um, Nina Kurkal is asking again, what about belly fats? It's a very difficult part of our body. I'm regularly exercising, yoga, meditation, Surya Namaskar. But everything is going on, but the belly fat, I suppose, is very tough.
Like I said, belly fat is something that is genetic. So I have a friend who has beer every day. He has about 6 or 7 beer every day, and he eats well, but he has no belly. He's got a flat. What is the explanation that you can give to that fellow? Belly fat is essentially genetic. It is not that you cannot get rid of it. You can get rid of most of it, but some of it might still be there. But don't give up. Keep trying. If you're able to do the 4 things that I told you, to a large extent, you'll be able to reduce it. And of course, do your Pilates and do your exercises to strengthen the core. But most of the belly is genetic. Yes.
A question from Sneha. Can you explain unwrapping emotions? How to do that?
See, it's a process. You see, what happens is when you revisit, let's say there is an unpleasant event that happened in your life some time back, but you're carrying that emotion with you. You need to revisit it. Now, when you revisit it, you can revisit it like you're watching a movie. What happens when you're watching a movie? You know the mental makeup of all the characters in the movie. You know why the villain is doing such a thing, why the hero is such a doing. So it makes sense to you why each of them are doing that. So when you revisit an unpleasant event that ever happened to you and look at it like a movie, you will know the perspective of everybody that are involved in that. You could be have been the one who did a mistake, somebody could have been, but at least you know why they did what they did. Once you know why they did what they did, it gets resolved, it gets untrapped. That's the reason I have made that 1 hour long video, which if you follow it with the link, going to drmanoj.com, it will take you not only to your consciousness, but even the subconscious trapped emotions. Now you'll ask me, Doc, look, I am not remembering my unpleasantness on an everyday basis. Why do you think that is affecting me? You may not be remembering it on an everyday basis, but the fact that you're able to recollect that emotion means it is trapped somewhere in your conscious, subconscious, or unconsciousness, and it is doing damage there. That is why, if you're able to follow this particular video in a relaxed state, you can even access your subconsciousness. That is how you untrap that. Yeah.
So we have Shmuel. Who wants to ask his question? Yes, Mel. Unmute yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, thank you. You hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Very interesting presentation. And my question is what connection between obesity and poverty? In other words, how poverty and social inequality contributing to obesity?
Was he talking about poverty? Poverty?
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
All right. So what happens essentially is when you grow up in poverty, you're deprived of a lot of food items that are there. You do not have enough to eat. So subconsciously, there is always a desire for food. You're all the time looking for food to eat because you do not have. Now, when you get food, you eat it because you do not know if you will have another meal within the next 24 hours or 36 hours. So you tend to eat whatever you get, you tend to eat. Now, that's it. This is the natural human instinct that happens in poverty. But if you have experienced poverty at some time in life, that experience remains within your subconscious. Even if there is abundant food that is available for you, you will still reach out to whatever food is available as of now and you will overeat because in your subconsciousness, you do not know, you have not come to the confirmation that, okay, I will have another meal today, tomorrow. No, your subconsciousness, the belief is that I will not have another meal. So you tend to overeat. You tend to eat whatever you get. I hope that answers your question.
Thank you very much.
There are a lot of appreciations in the chat box from Irene. Thank you for amazing session, sir. And excellent talk from Usha Ramakrishnan. Reena, thanks for the session. Thank you so much for an informative session. And there's a question from Divyashree. Does really food helps in setting our mood and mental health?
Sorry, I just read that. Food, yeah. So see, food is one of the most comfortable thing that one runs to when you're depressed. It's your best friend in life when you're depressed, when you're not happy. Many people run. They don't run to people. They run to food. Food doesn't ask any questions. People will ask you, why are you depressed? Why can't you do it this way? Why this is the wrong thing to do? This is the right thing to do. Food will never ask you anything. You just eat it. You feel nice about yourself. So food is one of the most comforting companion that you can have during emotional mental health. Eating food, will it help you with your mental health? Eating the right kind of food will help you with the mental health. Eating less will help you with the mental health. Eating more will only make you more and more emotional. It will make you mentally sluggish. The lesser you eat, the more you are mentally active. Your brain works best when your stomach is empty. It has been scientifically proven. So food should be just a fuel. Food should not be the reason for your existence. So they like they said, now unfortunately, so much of comfort and conveniences that offices in America are equipped with food and toilet within the vicinity of 50 feet. That is the rule. You must have enough of food available and you must have a toilet available within 50 feet. That's the kind of life we are living today. Now, food has become a priority. It should not. It should be just fuel. We should slowly move out of that. If you're addicted to food, you have a mental issue which is making you addicted. Explore it. Why are you addicted to food? Why is it that you have so much of craving to eat sweets? Why are you having so much of craving to eat fatty food? Go explore in your mind why. You will come across a reason. You have to find out a reason. And once you become aware of why, that will resolve and your craving will go. That's how it works. Yep.
We have Geeta Joseph who wants to ask her question. Yes, please unmute yourself.
Geeta, you're muted.
Yeah. Hi, everybody. This is regarding the belly fat. Somebody was asking how to reduce. I would like to tell about this bowl diet which Dr. Manoj had prescribed. That has really helped me. Dr. Manoj knows I always used to have this belly fat problem, and because of my sciatic pain, I was restricted with lots of exercises, to reduce the belly fat. So along with my walk and this bowl diet, I had completely lost my belly fat. I mean, it was absolutely flat with this bowl diet. And I had lost, like I was 86 kgs. I had lost 20 kgs within 1.5 years with not any specific diet, like just controlling my portions. So I just wanted to add to this particular thing.
Thank you, Gita.
Thank you, Gita.
And one more
So,
question I have, Dr. Manoj. Like
Yeah.
the other day I met you about that fear. I try a lot, like, to come out of the fear, but it's not so easy for me to come out of. I don't know what fear is there, but I'm always like caught up in certain fear. And with that, I get stressed up and I start eating more, like, I
Yeah,
have
so
to.
I understand, Gita, what you're trying to tell me. So see, fears have been conditioned into us from childhood. From as a child, your mother is telling you, don't get wet in the rain, you'll get fever. Don't eat ice cream, you will have throat pain. Don't go near somebody who is sick, you will fall sick.
Yeah.
So we are all the time constantly teaching our children, or you are teaching our children, or our parents have been teaching us about fear. So the fear is so deeply ingrained in us that it takes a while for you to resolve the fear. Now, once you explore the fear, why am I fearing? You need to go into the root of it. What is this fear? Where is this fear coming from? Once you become aware where the fear is coming from, it has to resolve. There is no other way. But
It's basically the fear of sickness. So how do I explore, like, what do I do to come out of it? In what way I can what method I should use to explore that, like.
fear of sickness is one of the biggest diseases that people have. Fear of sickness is one of the biggest. Let me tell you this. Now, I've already explained to you how our mind and the body reacts. The more you're scared, you are giving a command to the body to become like that. You are actually manifesting your fear within you. If
Yeah,
you're
that is
aware
my
of the fact
biggest
that,
fear also.
yes, so if you're aware that I am damaging myself with these fears, that itself should stop you from being fearful. And then, you need to probably get into a little spirituality. Most of us believe in God. Now, a lot of us say that we believe in God, but believing in God is not just praying or anything. Believing God is surrendering, complete surrender. When you completely surrender, every religion talks of the fact that thy will be done, inshallah. So let anything happen, whatever God wants for us to happen, let it happen. Why are you questioning Him and getting scared? If you are scared, that means you have not surrendered to your Guru, God, or the one you believe in. Completely surrender. Then the fear will go away. I mean, that's a spiritual way of looking at it.
Yeah. Thank you, Doctor. Thank you, Dr. Manoj.
Somebody asked about, yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, there's a question from Deepa Manjunath. There are a lot of tablets now available in Ayurvedic for reducing obesity. Is there any such tablet which helps in reducing the obesity? I have read the messages saying that I have reduced so and so kilos. What do you say about it, sir?
One thing everybody needs to understand fighting obesity is what works for one will not work for you, need not work for you. Now, taking this tablet to fight obesity, I told you that is an effect. Out of 10 people, 2 people, they may lose the effect, but they stop the tablet, they'll get it back again because you are dealing with the effect, not the cause. What works for 2 people may not work for the rest 18 out of 10. So if it is safe, you can always give it a try. It may work, it may not work. Don't be disappointed if it doesn't work. If it works also, don't be disappointed because it will work as long as you're taking it. The most important thing is to treat the cause of obesity that I've been telling. And the cause can be treated by 3, 4 things which I've told you. Somebody asked to repeat, that's why I'm repeating. Number one is eating the right way, the bowl diet. Number two is balancing the 5 elements. Number three is taking homeopathy to take care of the trapped emotions which are there. Number four is exploring your trapped emotions through that audio or video which you can see. Now, these ways, if you're able to do it, if you follow these things, incorporate these in your life, there is no way that you cannot battle this obesity. You will win. I'm talking about a battle that can be won, but you can't expect somebody else to fight that battle for you. You have to be a part of that battle, fight it, and you can win. Yeah.
We have a question from Arasu. Whether the child born out of diabetic mother at time of pregnancy can be a reason of obesity?
Yeah, medically it's proven that children who are born to diabetic mothers are obese, but that's only a few percentage of it. That's not. What do you want to do about it? Okay, your child is born obese now. How does it matter whether he was obese because of diabetes or not diabetes and all that? Not necessarily that every diabetic mother will give birth to an obese child. No, the point is now you got an obese child. Now how to deal with this obese child is your priority. A lot of people have this habit of finding out the cause. They go on and on. Why this happened? Why this happened? Why this happened? I'm not pregnant. Why am I not pregnant? There could be many reasons. Can you do anything about it? You are not pregnant because something happened to you when you were a child. You were emotionally disturbed. Can you go back and do something about it? No. We need to remember you cannot go back and correct anything that has happened 1 hour back. So no point going behind. Your child is diabetic, is obese because you are a diabetic. That's okay. Let's deal with the child. And there are many ways to deal with it. Yeah.
A question from Reena Kerr. I eat less, but I have obesity and got gastric problem recently. That's
I
it.
eat less, but I have
Uh,
obesity and gastric problem
obesity and
recently.
gastric.
So,
Yeah.
so it is very clear, Reena, your food is not the reason for your obesity. Let's rule that out because you eat less. Obviously, it is not the food that is the reason for your obesity. So there are other reasons for your obesity which you have to explore. And trust me when I tell you this, 99% of the time, it will be an emotional reason. I've been dealing with patients for 35 long years. Every chronic disease comes to me. Every rheumatoid arthritis, every psoriasis, every vitiligo, every migraine, every IBS that comes to me, they all have an emotional baggage that they are carrying. All chronic diseases happen because of emotional baggage that we are carrying. Discard that emotional baggage through spirituality, through yoga, through pranayama, through homeopathic medications, whatever way. Trust me, all your problems will come down. But you have to visit the mind. Do you guys know that a mental pandemic is expected? It is said that in 2045, 50% of the world population are going to be mentally sick. 50%. The one who is sitting beside you may be a mentally sick fellow, a depressed fellow. 1 out of 3 girls in the US, teenage girls in the US, are under prescription medication. The latest statement from the Surgeon General in the US is that every other person in the US is lonely. Now, that's the kind of mental pandemic that is going to come in the days to come. Now, we are happy. Okay, people like me, okay, we have another 10, 20 years. After that, it is the next generation who will suffer. But if you believe in God, if you believe in spirituality, you should also know that you're going to come back. When you come back, you're going to come back to a house which is full of mentally sick people. So shouldn't we do something about it now itself? Shouldn't we try and see what can be done about this mental pandemic that is going to affect the world? All of us need to address this mental pandemic. We are brushing it aside. We are brushing it under the carpet. We are not visiting. Now, Reena says that I don't eat anything. I don't do it. She's going on looking for a solution that can come outside. The solution cannot come from outside. It has to come from inside. You need to look into you. So I always suggest people to go for Sadhguru's inner engineering. Makes you joyful. It gives you a different perspective of things. Mental health is very important. Thank you.
So regarding mental health, I have a question. So are there any precautions to take to avoid that mental pandemic? Can we avoid it anyways?
You see, our mind is all the time jabbering. Okay. Can you sit for 5 minutes without thinking anything? Can you sit for
No,
1 minute without thinking anything? Can you sit for 30
no,
seconds without thinking of anything? No. So we are used to our mind is all the time, but. So we have the few thoughts. One is of the past or one is of the future. Past are all our memories, but we keep thinking about them. We suffer what happened to us 10 years back because we think about it. Can you do something about it? No. But you still revisit it and you suffer. Or you think about the future. You already suffering what is going to happen tomorrow, day after tomorrow. Okay. So these thoughts are what is going to cause you mental illness. You need to calm your thoughts down. You need to be in the present. You're not enjoying now because of your thought about yesterday and your thought about tomorrow. You need to learn to be in the now. Now, how can you be in the now? By stopping all your thoughts. How can you stop your thoughts? By meditating. Meditating is the only way that you can be in the present. Now, people think that meditation is some supernatural thing where, some miracles will happen to them. No, meditation is only thoughtlessness. You are in the present. That's enough. You're connecting with the cosmic intelligence. So there are many videos you can access on drmanoj.com about how to meditate and how to keep the thoughts away and stuff like that. Being joyful is the only way to prevent mental pandemic. So be happy. Let me put it this way. I mean, since you've asked this question, whatever happens, let's say you're seeing me. Where are you seeing me? You're seeing me inside you because light is falling on me. It is going into your eyes, inverted image, and you're seeing me. You're hearing me within you. When I touch you also, the touch is felt in your brain. When you're happy, where do you feel it? Within you. When you're sad, within you. When you're joyful, within you. When you're jealous, within you. When you're angry, it is within you. There is no human experience that happens outside you. Every human experience happens within us. If everything is happening within us, do you choose to be joyful or do you choose to be sad? That's a simple
joyful.
question.
Yeah.
That's a question you need to ask yourself. And if you can work towards it, because everything is coming from within, you are the one who has the control. I don't have the control. So you need to change and become joyful from within. Yep.
Okay. So our next question is from Sneha. In bowl diet, is it okay if I include sweet every time? Just asking since you told you can fill it with anything.
You must, Neha, if your desire is to have so much sweet with every meal, eat it, but a bowlful. So much of desire is there. After a few days of eating it every day, your desire will come down. For sure, it will come down. You won't feel like eating a sweet after that. You might want to eat a little bit. Go ahead and eat. Nothing will happen. What can affect you more than eating a sweet is the guilt of eating sweet. I'm eating this. I'll put on weight. My stomach will go this way. That will happen. This will happen. It is the guilt that will cause more harm, not the sweet. So bindas, eat in that bowl diet. Eat what you want as long as you don't pile it up. Enjoy every bite of it. What you enjoy and take cannot harm you. There's no chance of you excessive eating anyway because it's a bowl diet. If you prefer to fill the entire thing with sweet and nothing else, have it. Your next meal, at least you will have something else. So go listen to your body, experiment, give your body what it wants. The body will only guide you. You don't have to worry. It will tell you. Just listen.
There's a question from Sneha again. Which homeopathy can be used to deal with trapped emotions?
So it depends what is the trapped emotion. It could be abandonment, it could be self-worthlessness, it could be insecurity, it could be grief, it could be sadness, it could be jealousy, it could be, there are a lot of them. So you need to consult. It is not, it depends upon your emotions. It is not a single medicine that can be given for all emotions. No, it doesn't work that way. So you need to discuss your case with the doctor. They'll take your case in detail and find out what personality you are. And depending upon that, they will give medication. So you can consult any doctor around you and they'll be able to do something for you.
And there's a question from Navina. Is it suggestible for diabetic people to diet to reduce obesity?
Absolutely. Why not? You must diet and reduce, because if you diet, your sugar levels will come down. You reduce your sugar medication. Again, you diet, you keep monitoring your sugar levels and keep reducing your sugar medications. Many people who have gone on this bold diet have been able to get rid of allopathic medication for diabetes. Trust me. And see, many people are averse to exercise. There is an exercise which you were given in the website drmanoj.com where you lie down and you move your body. You go and see that and start doing it. At least make a beginning. You don't do exercise to lose weight. You do exercise basically to improve your circulation. At least let your joints move. Let it not get caught up because of no activity. At least in the bed, lie down and just keep on moving. I've given a video in the website. You can go and see it. Begin with that. You start to feel better. Then you go on improving. Yes, you can do it, Navina.
But in allopathic medicine, doctors usually ask diabetic people to eat during the day, like multiple times rather than eating once a full meal. So how does it help? Like,
You see, what happens is you meet the diabetologist only once a month or once in 2 months. He will spend 5 minutes with you and he will decide a dosage and give it to you. He does not know how your regular activities, your sugar levels will depend upon your activity, your food, your emotion. He cannot monitor this on an everyday basis, but you can monitor it. The reason he asks you to keep eating food is because he's already giving you medicines to reduce your sugar level. If you do not eat it, your sugar levels can go down and you can get hypoglycemia. So you are intelligent enough. You are not an animal to follow an instruction that has been given. A dog will tell you to sit, it will sit, stand, it will stand. Don't be like that with a doctor. Use your intelligence. Now, if he has given you 2 tablets a day, the day you're not eating one meal, take 1 tablet. You will not go into. Why does he want you to eat? Because he doesn't want you to go into hypoglycemia. How can you prevent hypoglycemia? The day you don't eat food too much, skip one of your tablets. Simple logic. You don't need rocket science to understand this. It is just that we have given our entire life, entire health into the hands of a doctor. We blindly do what he tells you. Unfortunately, he can spend only 5 minutes with you. He gives you all the instructions. He does not know what the hell you are. He does not know, WHO's definition of health is physical, mental, and social well-being. Does the doctor you go to know your mental well-being? Does he know your social well-being? He only is concerned about your physical well-being. How can he give you instructions unless he knows your social, mental, and physical? That is WHO's definition of health itself. So I'm not blaming him because he has no time. He has to see hundreds of patients. But you use your intelligence. Google is available. Doctor has given me so much. Why has he given me so much? What is the dosage? What should I do? You take an intelligent decision. Take health into your hands. Don't leave it. Our ancestors have survived thousands of years without medical science. Every grandmother knew what to do when there is a stomach issue, when there is a headache, when you are not getting sleep. Everybody knew what to do. Now we don't know because we are depending upon chemicals. This dependency has to come down. Where was all these emergencies during COVID, during lockdown? How many surgeries happened? How many investigations happened? How many admissions happened during COVID? There was no emergency for 2 years. How can there be no emergency? Or existence of 100 years, emergency. Suddenly no emergency. Post-COVID, again emergencies have started. It's all here. Think about it. Yep.
we have a question from Sneha. I have problem with maintaining consistency. This week, I feel very much motivated to exercise, diet, and etc. Next week, completely, I lose the interest. How to overcome that?
Who is losing the interest, Neha? You are losing the interest. Where is the interest coming from? Within you. Where is the lack of interest coming from? Within you. Whatever is happening within your mind. Who has to correct this? I or you? I think with that, Sneha will stop her questions, I think. You have to work on yourself, Sneha. It's about you.
So now I would like to tell about our upcoming talks. I would like to request the team to put up the screen share. Yeah. So on 20th of January, we have a topic on understanding microfinances by Rima Mukherjee, who is head of digital growth at Arohan Financial Services. And on 27th of January, we have a talk on Ayurveda in pediatrics by Dr. G.K. Tara Jayashree, who is a Ayurvedic physician. And it's on 27th of January, 2024. So I think we have covered all the questions and we are good to close. So I'd like to thank everyone who has joined today, and I'd like to thank Seema ma'am for for introducing Manoj sir to Vishwa Talks, and I'd like to hear a bit from you, ma'am.
Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Manoj. I have known Dr. Manoj for over 30 years now, and I know he has resolved so many health issues of me, my family, my extended family. So you are one of a kind, doc. And knowing you, I thought you were the best person to be on this platform so that you can share all your thoughts on various issues that you have dealt with. I know we have only touched the tip of the iceberg, but we sure look forward to many such issues that you have worked on. Thank you so much, Doc. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. Sir, I would like
Thank you
to
very much.
request you to join
I'll
the
wait.
breakout.
Sure.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. So I would like to thank the entire Vishwa Talks for bringing up such pertinent topics. And lastly, please take a moment to subscribe to Vishwa Talks to get alerts on every new talk, event, and access to Vishwa community. Follow us.